Have you ever stood up from your favorite recliner and felt your legs wobble just a little too much? Or found yourself gripping the handrail tighter when going up the stairs you used to fly up? Friend, if that's hitting close to home, you're not alone. But here's the punchline. Most folks never see coming. The very vitamins you've been taking to stay strong may be quietly stealing your strength. Yes, today we're talking about two so-called healthy vitamins that may actually be weakening your legs after the age of 60. This isn't fear-mongering. It's about finally uncovering why the strength you once trusted is slipping away even when you're doing everything right. As someone who's lived over 70 winters in this great country, I've seen good folks lose their independence, not because of age, but because of what they didn't know. So before you pop that next supplement or reach for that harmless snack, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and stay with me till the very end. The insight you'll gain today just might be the thing that helps you stay on your feet, strong, steady, and proud. Let's get into it. Part 1. The hidden crisis of leg weakness. After 60, you don't just wake up one morning and lose your strength. It happens inch by inch, subtle, quiet. Like dust settling on an old chair you no longer sit in. One day you're mowing the lawn, the next you're thinking twice before stepping off a curb. Not because you're lazy, not because you're weak, but because your legs, those same legs that carried you through war, hard work raising children and walking your daughter down the aisle, start to betray you. The truth is, leg weakness isn't just about age, it's about awareness. And most folks over 60 aren't told what's really happening. They're handed pills or told it's just getting older. But that's not the whole story. I remember Hank, my neighbor in Nebraska, a Korean War veteran, strong hands, firm voice. But in his late 70s, he started slowing down. He thought it was arthritis. Thought maybe he was just past his prime, but it turned out he was unknowingly eating foods and taking supplements that were chipping away at his strength, not building it. By the time he figured it out, he'd already taken a fall. That fall cost him more than balance. It cost him confidence. And confidence, my friend, is half of your health. The crisis isn't just weak legs. It's the quiet erosion of independence. The kind that sneaks up through diet, misinformed habits, and blind trust in what's supposed to be healthy. Here's the hard truth. Not everything marketed to seniors has your well-being at heart. Many of us were raised to trust labels, doctors, and good intentions, but the world has changed. Food is more processed. Supplements are more potent, and we must be more discerning. So this isn't just a health talk, it's a wake-up call. If your legs feel tired more often, if stairs look taller than they used to, or if you've caught yourself hesitating to walk without support, it's time to listen closely. The battle isn't over when you retire, it just changes shape. And your legs. They're your last frontier of freedom. Guard them wisely. Part 2. Sugar, the silent muscle killer. You know, back in the day, a slice of pie after supper or a scoop of ice cream on a Sunday afternoon was a treat. Not a threat, but something's changed. The sugar we grew up with isn't the same anymore. It's more refined, more hidden, and far more dangerous to folks our age than we were ever told. After 60, your body doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Sugar doesn't just give you a quick high, it starts to eat away at your muscle strength bit by bit. It fuels chronic inflammation that burrows into your joints and muscles. And over time, it makes every step feel heavier, every rise from a chair feel more like a chore. I knew a man named Clarence, a retired mail carrier from Ohio. He used to walk 6 miles a day for decades, but after retirement, he started snacking more cookies after lunch, sweetened coffee several times a day. It was harmless, he thought, until one day he couldn't make it halfway down his driveway without needing to sit down. His legs weren't just tired, they were inflamed, stiff, and weak. His muscles were starving for real fuel, but he kept feeding them sugar. That's what sugar does. It tricks the body. It gives you a burst, then robs you of resilience. It spikes your insulin, exhausts your muscles, and invites extra pounds that your knees and hips weren't designed to carry at this age. And let me be clear, we're not just talking candy bars and soda sugar hides and ketchup bread, salad dressings, and even so-called healthy granola bars. It's the modern thief of vitality, cleverly disguised in everyday packaging. So what's the answer? Cut back, not out. You don't need to live without joy, but you do need to choose it wisely. Trade the store-bought cake for a handful of berries with a sprinkle of cinnamon, Swap the creamer for something unsweetened. These aren't punishments, they're investments in your independence. The real sweetness in life isn't in a cookie. It's in being able to walk freely, stand proudly, and live without fear of falling. And if you ask me, that's worth more than any dessert on the shelf. Part 3, Fried Foods. Crunchy, but crippling. Let's be honest, fried foods are part of American comfort. Whether it's a basket of hot fries at the diner, crispy chicken at a family barbecue, or a donut with your morning coffee, we've all enjoyed that crunch. But after 60, the body doesn't process fried foods like it used to. And the cost of that crunch, it's often paid for in stiffness, soreness, and the slow decline of your leg strength. Here's the truth. No one told us when we were younger, fried foods are loaded with trans fats and inflammatory oils that harden our arteries, stiffen our joints, and starve our muscles. These fats interfere with circulation, meaning your legs get less oxygen and fewer nutrients. And when blood doesn't flow, well, recovery slows. That soreness you feel, that lingering ache after a short walk. It's not just aging, it's damage that's being fed every time we reach for fried food. I once had a friend named Gloria from Indiana. She was sharp, independent, and cooked Sunday dinner for her grandkids without fail, but she loved her fried chicken every week without question. Over time, her knees started to hurt. She blamed arthritis, but the deeper cause, the food she loved, was silently inflaming her joints and weakening her leg muscles. Eventually, she had to stop standing in the kitchen for long. She'd sit while stirring the pot. Then she stopped cooking altogether. Fried foods take more than they give. They're high in calories, low in nutrients, and leave your muscles undernourished. Worse yet, they often come alongside white bread, sugary drinks, and processed sauces, the perfect storm for inflammation. And while it might feel like giving them up is giving up joy, let me tell you, there's more joy in standing tall and steady than in a plate of onion rings. Switch to baked, grilled, or air-fried options. Season with herbs, not grease. Make your meals work for you, not against you. At this stage in life, every bite should honor the journey you've been through, not undo it. So the next time you're tempted by the fryer, ask yourself, is this worth my next step? Part 4, the white bread trap. It's soft, it's familiar, and it's been on American tables for generations, from peanut butter sandwiches to morning toast. White bread feels like home, but for those of us over 60, that same comfort is slowly becoming a silent contributor to muscle loss, unstable legs, and chronic fatigue. Here's what they don't tell you on the label. White bread is essentially sugar in disguise. It's made from refined flour that's been stripped of its fiber, minerals, and nutrients. The moment it enters your body, it spikes your blood sugar just like a candy bar. And what goes up must come crashing down. This constant roller coaster wreaks havoc on your energy and your muscles, especially in the legs where strength is already fading with age. I've seen it time and again. My buddy Joe, a retired carpenter from Michigan, used to eat toast with butter every morning. No questions asked, but after 65, he started noticing how sluggish his legs felt after breakfast. At first, he thought it was just the years catching up. But after switching to whole grain bread with protein and fiber, he told me, it's like someone turned the lights back on in my body. That's the power of choosing differently. White bread also lacks the fiber that helps regulate insulin. Without fiber, sugar floods the bloodstream and your cells struggle to absorb energy efficiently. Over time, this contributes to insulin resistance, a key reason why your legs may feel heavy, unsteady, or constantly tired. And let's not forget the weight gain. White bread, especially when eaten with butter jam or processed meats, leads to extra pounds. Those pounds don't just sit on your belly, they weigh on your knees, ankles, and hips, quietly grinding down your joints. So what's the alternative? Choose breads with visible grains, seeds, and fiber. Pair them with foods that fuel like avocado, eggs, or cottage cheese. You're not giving up bread, you're giving up the lie that softness equals safety. At our age, strength is in the details, and your sandwich could be either your ally or your enemy. The choice is simple, but the impact. Lifelong Part 5. Alcohol, the quiet thief of strength. Let me say something that may surprise you sometimes. The things we use to relax are the very things quietly robbing us of our strength. For many older Americans, a glass of wine with dinner or a nightcap before bed is part of routine. It's tradition, a reward for decades of hard work and sacrifice. But after 60, alcohol doesn't play fair. It plays tricks. You see, the older body doesn't process alcohol like it used to. The liver slows down, the kidneys strain, and most critically, alcohol interferes with how your body absorbs and uses essential nutrients. The same nutrients your legs depend on to stay firm, balanced, and reliable. Calcium, magnesium, vitamin D all become harder to absorb when alcohol is in the mix. I remember Earl, a Vietnam vet and a dear friend from North Carolina. Every evening he'd sit on his porch, sip his bourbon, and watch the sun go down. Nothing fancy, he wasn't a heavy drinker. But by the time he reached his late 60s, he started noticing something wasn't right. His legs felt heavy, his balance was off. He'd shuffle, not stride. At first he blamed it on age, but when he finally went in for a checkup, his doctor pointed out low vitamin D signs of early nerve damage and a stressed liver. The root, that one drink a night compounded over years. He never saw it coming. That's the hard part about alcohol. It doesn't knock loudly. It whispers, slowly it wears down. Your organs, messes with your blood. Sugar adds pounds to your midsection and strips you of strength one sip at a time. Now, this isn't about guilt. It's about clarity, about making conscious choices. If a drink is something you truly enjoy, keep it occasional. But don't let it be a nightly ritual disguised as harmless comfort. Because the comfort alcohol gives in the moment often comes at the cost of your future freedom. Imagine this, you trade that nightcap for a herbal tea, you sleep better, your legs feel stronger, your doctor is finally pleased with your labs, and best of all, you feel clear, steady, and in control. That's not fantasy, it's what happens when you start aligning your habits with the body you're in now, not the one you had at 40. If this message resonates with you, if it reminds you of someone you love, please take a second to subscribe to this channel and hit the like button. Not just to support this video, but to help spread this message to other seniors across America who are unknowingly walking the same path. The more we know, the more we grow, and the more strength we can pass on, leg by leg, step by step. Stay with me. We've got more truth to uncover, and your health is worth every word. Part 6, Processed Meats. Convenience at a heavy cost. In America, we've long valued things that are fast, easy, and ready to go. And for many of us in our golden years, reaching for a slice of ham or heating up some sausage links feels like a simple way to keep meals manageable. But that convenience comes at a steep price, especially for our legs. Processed meats like bacon, deli slices, sausages, and canned hams are loaded with sodium preservatives and saturated fats. These ingredients may make the food last longer, but they slowly chip away at our physical foundation. They fuel inflammation, not just in the joints, but in the muscles themselves, leading to stiffness, swelling, and persistent fatigue, particularly in the legs. Let me tell you about Margaret, a retired nurse from Pennsylvania. She lived alone and liked to keep things simple. Breakfast was eggs and sausage. Lunch was a turkey sandwich. Dinner was usually canned soup and some toast. But over time, her legs became so sore in the mornings that she had to brace herself just to get out of bed. At first, she thought it was arthritis or age. But when she started changing her meals, removing processed meats, adding fresh vegetables and lean proteins, her pain began to ease and her mobility returned. What happened to Margaret isn't rare. It's common. Processed meats interfere with blood circulation, dehydrate muscle tissue, and throw your metabolism out of balance. Many also contain nitrites and other chemicals that impact nerve and muscle function directly. And here's something most folks don't realize. These meats don't give your body the high-quality protein it needs to maintain muscle. They're fillers, not fuel. At a time in life when every ounce of muscle matters, relying on low-quality food is like trying to keep an old car running on dirty gas. The truth is, the ease of a sandwich or microwave meat isn't worth the struggle to stand, walk, or move freely. There are better choices: grilled chicken, roasted turkey, beans, eggs, even a tuna salad, made fresh, foods that work with your body, not against it. Your legs carry your independence. What you feed them determines how far they'll take you. Choose wisely. Part 7, Instant Noodles and Convenience Foods. A false friend. After 60. There's something comforting about a bowl of warm noodles on a cold afternoon, quick to make, easy to eat, and familiar. Especially when you live alone or don't feel like cooking. Instant meals can feel like a gift, but after 60, that gift can quietly turn into a burden on your body, particularly your legs. Most instant noodles and frozen ready meals are built for shelf life, not nourishment. They're packed with refined flour sodium preservatives, artificial flavors, and MSG ingredients that do little to support muscle health, circulation, or nerve function. In fact, many of these ingredients actively harm them. Take MSG, for example. It's used to boost taste, but it also increases inflammation throughout the body, including in the joints and muscles. This can lead to stiffness, swelling, and a heavy dragging feeling in your legs. Add in the salt, often several times more than a body over 60 can comfortably handle, and you get fluid retention, raised blood pressure, and sluggish circulation. That's a recipe for discomfort every time you walk or try to stand from a chair. I think of Larry, a widower from Utah, who told me I eat noodles almost every night. It's easy and I don't have to think. But after months of that habit, he began noticing numbness in his feet, a dull ache in his calves, and poor balance. It wasn't age. It was the daily dose of low-nutrient, high-sodium meals that left his muscles starved and inflamed. The worst part, instant noodles have almost no fiber, little protein, and none of the micronutrients your muscles and bones need to stay strong. They fill your stomach but leave your body empty. And when the legs are already vulnerable due to age-related muscle loss, these meals only make the situation worse. The solution doesn't need to be gourmet. A bowl of oats, a scrambled egg with fresh veggies, or a simple soup with lentils and greens can do wonders. Foods that are humble, natural, and nourishing, the kind your grandparents might have made. Convenience shouldn't cost your ability to stand tall. The easier way isn't always the better way. Feed your legs like they matter, because they do. Part 8: Sweets and Desserts. Pleasure with a Price. Let's face it, many of us have a soft spot for sweets. Whether it's a scoop of vanilla ice cream on a warm day, a slice of cake at a family gathering, or a handful of cookies with afternoon coffee, these little pleasures have long been woven into the fabric of American life. But after 60, the body starts telling the truth that taste buds can't hear sugar isn't so sweet anymore. What most don't realize is that desserts, especially the packaged store-bought kind, are more than just high in sugar. They're often loaded with hydrogenated oils, artificial colors, preservatives, and emulsifiers that quietly trigger chronic inflammation. That inflammation doesn't just live in your joints, it burrows into your muscles, especially in your legs, causing pain, fatigue, and reduced mobility. Take ice cream. Most commercial brands are full of added sugars, thickeners, and chemical stabilizers. These ingredients disrupt hormonal balance, impair circulation, and over time can lead to numbness, cramps, or a heavy sensation in the legs. And when your legs start whispering these symptoms, it's rarely just about aging. It's about a lifestyle that's no longer serving your body. Then there's chocolate, specifically milk chocolate, high in saturated fat, low in nutrients. It causes a quick insulin surge, drains your muscles of stable energy, and encourages belly fat that weighs down your lower half. It's no wonder so many older adults experience leg pain and poor balance. The very foods we use to reward ourselves often become the silent punishers. I remember Jan, a grandmother from Illinois, who used to say, "A cookie a day keeps my mood okay." But when her doctor explained how her daily treats were contributing to her swollen ankles and aching knees, she made a change. She switched to fresh fruit, dark chocolate in moderation, and even learned to make her own low-sugar desserts with oats and cinnamon. Her strength came back slowly but steadily. The truth is, you don't need to give up joy, but you do need to redefine it. A treat shouldn't cost you your ability to walk unassisted, and no dessert is worth sacrificing your freedom. At this age, pleasure must come with purpose, and your legs are counting on you to make that choice. Part 9: Ultra-processed cheeses. Creamy, salty, and slowly damaging cheese has long held a special place on the American table. From grilled cheese sandwiches to casseroles, burgers to crackers, it's warm, creamy, nostalgic. But after 60, not all cheeses are created equal, and many of the processed kinds are quietly undermining your leg strength and overall health. We're not talking about a slice of sharp cheddar from the deli. We're talking about those soft, ultra-processed cheese slices, cheese spreads, canned cheeses, and those plastic-wrapped singles that last months in the fridge. What makes them convenient also makes them harmful. First, the sodium content is sky high. Salt in large amounts causes water retention, leading to that all too familiar feeling of heavy swollen legs. But it doesn't stop there. Excess sodium can tighten blood vessels, reduce circulation, and make it harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach your muscles, especially in the lower half of your body, where circulation is already weaker in old age. Second, these cheeses are loaded with saturated fats and chemical preservatives. These ingredients trigger low-grade inflammation that creeps into joints, muscles, and veins. Over time, that inflammation reduces flexibility, increases pain, and weakens the very muscles you depend on to move through the world. I once met Harold, a retired truck driver from Wisconsin cheese country. He loved his morning toast with melted cheese, but by his early 70s, his knees ached, his calves cramped, and he couldn't walk far without resting. His doctor suggested cutting back on processed foods, especially cheese. After a few months of swapping out processed slices for small portions of fresh mozzarella and cottage cheese, Harold noticed his legs felt lighter and more stable. I never thought cheese would be the thing he told me, but it was ultra-processed. Cheese is calorically dense but nutritionally poor. It offers little in terms of high-quality protein or calcium, and a lot in terms of inflammatory ingredients. At our age, we need food that helps, not hinders. Fresh, minimally processed cheeses like ricotta, feta goat cheese, or even a dollop of plain Greek yogurt can provide protein without the harmful extras. Your legs deserve nourishment, not filler. Choose what supports your strength, not what slowly erodes it. Part 10. Packaged snacks and cookies. Convenience that costs mobility. We live in a world where everything comes in a wrapper, chips snack, bars, cookies, crackers. It's easy to reach for them, especially when you're tired or living alone. They're quick, tasty, and satisfying. But here's a hard truth. Those shiny packages often carry more than just a snack. They carry the slow erosion of your strength. Most packaged snacks are filled with refined sugars, hydrogenated oils, artificial flavorings, preservatives, and trans fats. These ingredients are cheap to make, long-lasting on the shelf, but damaging in the body, especially in muscles and joints. What many seniors don't realize is that trans fats in these snacks actively block healthy circulation. They harden arteries, stiffen joints, and reduce oxygen flow to muscles. The result? Legs that feel tired, heavy, and unreliable. Add sugar to the mix, and you've got insulin spikes that sap energy and invite inflammation. The perfect recipe for weakness and fatigue. Take Edna, a retired librarian from Oregon. She used to keep a bowl of snack-sized cookies on her kitchen counter. Just a little treat, she'd say. But over time, she noticed her legs would ache, even after short walks. She felt unsteady on stairs. Her doctor didn't find anything alarming, but after learning about the connection between processed snacks and inflammation, she made a switch. Out went the cookies. In came mixed nuts, fresh fruit, and whole grain crackers. Within weeks, her legs felt steadier and her confidence returned. The problem with packaged snacks isn't just what they contain, it's what they replace. They take the place of protein, fiber, minerals, and real nutrition that your muscles are starving for as you age. They fill your belly but rob your legs of strength. This isn't about never having a cookie again. It's about knowing what you're feeding your body, especially when that body has carried you through decades of work, love, and survival. A strong life needs strong legs. And strong legs need food that honors their effort, not food that silently takes away their power one bite at a time. Part 11. Canned foods and artificial seasonings. Hidden dangers in everyday meals. For many older Americans, canned soups, seasoning packets, frozen dinners, and ready-to-eat meals feel like a godsend, especially when cooking for one becomes more of a chore than a joy. But behind the ease and flavor lies a quiet threat to the very thing we rely on, most our ability to move freely. Most canned and prepackaged meals are loaded with monosodium, glutamate, MSG, sodium nitrates, artificial flavor, enhancers, and preservatives. These ingredients don't just extend shelf life or enhance taste, they disrupt the body's natural balance, particularly in seniors. MSG, for example, is well known to trigger low-level chronic inflammation. For an aging body, that inflammation often finds its way into the joints and muscles, particularly in the legs where blood flow is already slowing down with age. The result? Aching knees, sore calves, heavy ankles, Symptoms too often dismissed as just getting older. But it's not just inflammation. High sodium in canned foods promotes fluid retention, leading to swelling in the legs and feet, pressure on the veins, and impaired circulation. That means your muscles aren't getting the oxygen they need to stay strong, and your nerves may start to feel numb or weak. Let's talk about Frank, a retired school bus driver in Arizona. He lived alone and mostly ate from cans, soup stews, chili, and packaged noodle bowls. He told me he started waking up with stiff legs and mild tremors. No one could find anything wrong. But once he started preparing simple meals from scratch with herbs, garlic, and lemon, instead of seasoning packets, he noticed a steady improvement in both his energy and mobility. The danger with artificial seasonings isn't just in one meal, it's in the accumulation. Small amounts day after day quietly wear down your body's ability to fight back. The good news: you don't need to be a gourmet chef. A simple pot of beans with fresh herbs, a vegetable soup made at home, or a grilled chicken breast with olive oil and lemon can nourish without harm. Your legs carry your freedom. Don't let the convenience of a can compromise the independence you've worked so hard to earn. Part 12, the two worst vitamins for your legs. After 60, when more becomes harmful. For decades, we've been told to take our vitamins, and for good reason, many older adults don't get enough nutrients from food alone. But here's the part that rarely gets mentioned. Some vitamins, when taken in excess, can do more harm than good, especially when it comes to your legs. Two of the biggest culprits, vitamin A and vitamin D, surprised. You're not alone. Let's start with vitamin A. This fat-soluble vitamin is important for vision, immunity, and skin. But unlike water-soluble vitamins, excess vitamin A doesn't leave your body through urine. It gets stored in your liver and fat tissues and can build up to toxic levels over time. Too much vitamin A can lead to muscle pain, stiffness, joint discomfort, and even difficulty walking. It may even weaken bones, making them more prone to fractures, a serious risk for anyone over 60. I once met Doris, a retired art teacher from New Jersey, who had been taking a high-dose multivitamin for years. She thought she was doing the right thing, but she developed chronic leg cramps and stiffness that her doctors couldn't explain until one ran a blood test and found extremely elevated levels of vitamin A. Once she adjusted her supplements, her symptoms slowly faded. Now let's talk about vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin. It's essential for bone health and muscle function, and most seniors are told to take it. But too much vitamin D can lead to high calcium levels in the blood, which causes muscle weakness, cramping, joint pain, and even kidney stress. Just like vitamin A, it's fat-soluble and accumulates when overused. The problem: many seniors self-medicate with large doses of over-the-counter supplements without ever testing their levels. It's done with good intentions, but it can quietly create new problems instead of solving old ones. The lesson here is simple supplements should serve you, not sabotage you. Before adding high-dose vitamins to your routine, talk to your doctor. Get tested. Let science, not fear or guesswork, guide your decisions. Because sometimes the path to stronger legs doesn't lie in adding more, but in knowing what to stop. Part 13, the path to recovery. Nourishing strength from the inside out. If you've made it this far, it means you care not just about adding years to your life, but about adding life to your years. And that, my friend, is the beginning of recovery. Leg weakness after 60 isn't always about aging. Often it's the result of habits we thought were harmless. A slice of white bread. Here, a quick microwave meal. There, a daily vitamin just in case. Slowly, quietly, these choices accumulate. And the legs, those silent workhorses that carried us through jobs, weddings, raising children, long walks, and heartbreaks, begin to show signs of wear. But here's the truth. It's never too late to nourish strength from the inside out. The body is remarkably forgiving. Muscles respond to care. Joints soften with better nutrition. Circulation improves when we remove what clogs it. Even our energy shifts when we give the body the respect it has long earned. Start small. Swap that processed cheese slice for a boiled egg. Replace sugary snacks with fruit, cinnamon, and nuts. Trade soda for water with lemon. These aren't diet rules. They're acts of care, of reclaiming power, where it matters most: in your legs, your steps, your freedom. I knew Martha, a 78-year-old widow in Missouri. She spent years relying on frozen meals and pills. One fall changed everything. But instead of giving up, she joined a local community garden, started cooking again, and slowly rebuilt her strength. She told me I thought I was too old to change, but turns out I was just too tired to try. Once I started, I got tired of feeling tired. The journey to recovery isn't about perfection, it's about consistency, and it's deeply American to believe in second chances, even with our own bodies. You don't need fancy diets or extreme workouts. You need real food, gentle movement, honest information, and self-respect. Your legs are still yours, and with the right care, they can carry you through this next chapter with dignity, strength, and pride. The past can't be rewritten, but the path forward. That's entirely up to you. A stronger step begins today. Growing older doesn't mean growing weaker, but it does mean growing wiser. And part of that wisdom is recognizing what no longer serves our bodies, especially our legs, that carry us through every day of this precious life. We've uncovered some hard truths today: that sugar steals energy, fried foods and flame processed meats burden our joints, and even the vitamins we trusted can betray us when taken without care. These aren't just facts, they're quiet causes of the weakness, stiffness, and imbalance too many seniors silently accept. But here's the good news. You have the power to change your path, one thoughtful meal, one wiser choice at a time. Every step you take toward better nutrition is a step back toward freedom, confidence, and independence. If this video touched something in you, if it reminded you of someone you love or gave you clarity about your own health, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us reach more seniors who need this guidance and may never hear it otherwise. And if today's message offered you a lesson, a wake-up call, or a bit of hope, leave a comment below. Share what you learned, how it made you feel, or what changes you'll make for yourself or your family. Your story might be the light that helps someone else take their next strong step. Stay well, stay standing. You've still got miles to walk, and they can be beautiful.